Hi everyone, welcome to another free family art project. Pardon me, I'm Autumn, the education coordinator for Studio 23. So if you got to tune in to Tara's video right before mine, you see that we're talking about Ruth Howell's painting, and we're being inspired by the work she does. So like I said, if you caught Tara's video, you heard about Ruth's Surrealist style painting. So really quickly, Surrealism, if you're not familiar with it, hi Al, how's it going? If you're not familiar with Surrealism, it's more of a modern art movement, and it's really just an art movement that tries to express the subconscious mind, which is a pretty basic explanation. But the cool thing about surrealist art is that sometimes you can find some really cool, kooky things in there, sometimes even some funny things. Kids might think they're goofy, because things don't always fit, right? Because things don't always fit right in our minds, right? So this is a great style of art to have kids do, because they can come up with some really creative things. Some notable surrealist artists would be definitely Salvador Dali, probably one of the most famous, Frida Kahlo, Rene Magritte, even Pablo Picasso did surrealist art. So if you're looking for more examples besides Ruth Howell's that you can see right down on the river, those are some other famous artists that you could look to for inspiration. So anyways, moving on. So today, we're gonna draw an eye. I was trying to think of something pretty basic that we could draw, but we're going to add a surrealist touch. If you look on the inside of the eye, of course, I have a sky instead of an iris. So that's what I'm gonna be showing you how to do today. Let's get started. I'm gonna adjust this camera angle and we'll get going. All right, so here we have our example, and we're gonna get started just drawing the shape of the eye. Now, if you caught my demo that we did for Armin Mersman, we already did an eye, but this is a little bit simpler. So I'm gonna grab just a colored pencil. And by the way, I'm simply using paper today, paper that's landscape, and colored pencils. That's literally all I'm using today. So we're gonna start with drawing this sort of football-shaped eye, okay? So you're just gonna start sketching it out with your pencil, okay? All right, and I like to sketch out lightly and then make it darker once I know I got the right shape. That's an especially nice way to draw if you don't draw a lot. Okay, so we have our eye shape, okay? Then we just need to go in and add these lashes. You can go in and do little things like add the little part of the eye here and stuff if you want. You can make this as detailed as you want, but you don't have to. So we're gonna go in and add lashes, and we're just gonna go in, and these are just gonna be like really skinny triangle shapes. And we don't have to do a ton of them, because we're, it's a little more stylized because it is surrealist, right? So it doesn't have to be realistic. Okay, so we draw in our eyelashes. You love the blue in the sky. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Val. Good idea. Thank you. Thanks, Al. All right, so we'll go in now and we'll do the iris. And we'll just sketch that in. All right, we got our iris. let's kind of sketch in our circle for our pupil just so we have an idea of where it's going to be. And then we're going to do just these little lines under the eye and above the eye. Those are just to represent the folds. Fun for all ages. Absolutely, Al. I think this would be a fun project for anyone to do. Moms and dads with their kids, or grandmas and grandpas with their grandkids. I think this would be a great project. So we're just going to put a little line in, just like that. And then we're going to do one more up top, just to get that fold up top. All right, so I got it sketched in now. All right, got my eye sketched in. So now I think we can start coloring it in. So I'm just gonna go in and I think I'm gonna start with my iris, and I'm gonna take I have this light blue color, and I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna make some cloud shapes. And myself, I like the cloud shapes personally that are flat on the bottom. And that's just myself, but I feel like when they're flat on the bottom and then fluffy, you automatically know, like, okay, these are clouds. So for me personally, that's what works. Obviously, you can do whatever you like. And also remember, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that skies are not always blue, right? So you could totally do this a different color even if you wanted to. All right, so I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna start drawing, and I'm gonna do a flat line on the bottom. And then I'm really just gonna make these squiggly shapes to make clouds. All right, flat line on the bottom, squiggly, flat line, squiggly. And I'm just gonna keep going for it just like that. Remember, it's a cloud and it's nature, so it does not have to be perfect. We'll do one more here, I think. And I think that's good enough. All right, so then I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna start coloring it in with my colored pencil. Now I'm gonna scribble because I only have a certain amount of time, but you know, obviously the more you take your time with something like this, the better it's gonna look. I think that's probably true for just about everything though. The more you take your time, the better it's gonna look. All right, so I'm gonna get my sky blue scribbled in here. There we go. All right, now you can also go in and layer in another color. Like I have a little bit of a darker blue. You can scribble that in also. I think when we did our video with Julie Tislicki, she mentioned that the more layers, the better with colored pencil. And I think that's such an important thing when you're using colored pencils, is if you can, if you have the time, just go in with more layers. It's only gonna make your art look better. All right, so we got some dark blue. You can also go in and you can also blend with some white if you'd like. Remember when I've done past videos, we talked about how the white blends. And because you just drew clouds, you can honestly just go over the whole entire thing if you want, up to you. All right. You can also, if you wanted to, you could also go in and add a little sun if you wanted, just to really kind of put in, you know, give the idea that it's the sky. So let's see, we'll go in, we'll add a little circle coming from this cloud right here. We'll mix it up a little bit. We could do some sun rays coming off of it if we want to. You know, like I said, it's supposed to be like subconscious, so it could be, you could really do whatever you wanted with this. We'll go over it with a little yellow because we want to add our layers, just like Julie says, right? You like the layered idea, Al? Thank you. Yes, that was a great tip from Julie, and I never forgot it. The more layers, the better off it's gonna be. All right, so I even added a little sun in there. All right, now we're just gonna go in and we're gonna darken up some of these lines really quickly. And I have navy blue here, and I wanted black, but that's okay. Okay. So we're gonna darken this line up. Darken that up. Color in those eyelashes really quickly. All right. I'm going to really lightly go over the folds of the eye that I drew with black, just so it's a little bit darker. All right. And then, oh, and we can't forget our eye or our pupil, right? Which I think you really want to make sure this is nice and black. I feel like pupils are probably the part of the eye that are always super dark. So I would say on the pupil, really take your time and get it colored in. If you find like some of the colored pencils I use, because I use just like school grade ones, a lot of times that the black will look almost gray or brown. Just take a dark blue, like a navy blue, and go over top of it, and it'll darken it even more. Again, those layers that we were talking about. All right, and then the last step would be to finish it off with a skin tone. I have a brown and a darker brown that I'm using. So what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of this darker brown right above that top fold line that I did. And I'm using the side of my pencil so I can just kind of lightly put some color in there. And then I'm gonna do a little bit right here on the side here of the other fold line. Just a little bit. And then I'm gonna go in with my lighter brown, and I'm literally just gonna color this entire thing. And color it in. You could even color in this little part here if you had like a red or orangey red kind of color. I'm not sure what this part is called. Is that like the sclera? I don't know. I definitely wasn't a science major in school. Maybe someone out there knows. But this is our finished product. This is our Surrealist eye. I really hope that you guys try this out. It's a really fun project and really minimal art supplies needed. As always, if you do try it, please tag us with the hashtag Studio23OnTheGo or hashtag MakeArtsVirtual, and we would absolutely love to see what you're working on. That is it for me. Now is Val's up next with a demo of her own. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you later. Bye.